Good morning, viewers. My name is Natalia Amutana and welcome to our second program of Accounting Grade 10 and 11. Our topic for today is the correction of errors that affect the trial balance. The lesson objectives are: Number 1, explain the errors which affect the trial balance. Number 2, explain the purpose of the suspense account. And lastly, prepare a journal entries to correct the errors. When businesses prepare accounting records, sometimes errors are made. Some of these errors affect the trial balance. The errors that affect the trial balance are as follows. Number 1, single entry error. Number 2, addition error. Number 3, error in completing the double entry. These errors affect the debit entry and the credit entry with a different amount. This error causes the total of the debit side and the credit side of the trial balance not agree with one another. The first error that we will look at is the single entry error. The double entry principle states that for every transaction there must be two accounts. One account should be debited and one account should be credited. Single entry error is made when a transaction is only recorded in one account instead of two accounts. For example, insurance of 300 Namibian dollars paid by EFT was only recorded on the credit side of the bank account. This error will have an effect on the trial balance. The debit entry was not made in the insurance account. When correcting this error in the general journal, we should open a debit entry which was omitted in the insurance account. The bank account was recorded correctly, so we do nothing to it. The bank account which was credited will be replaced by the suspense account. Therefore, we will debit insurance and credit suspense account to correct the error. The suspense account is a temporary account that is created to record the unexplained difference from the trial balance. The second error that we'll focus on is the addition error. This error occurs as a result of incorrect addition in any account. The account may either be added up too high, which is now overcast, or too low, which is undercast. For example, the sales account was undercast by 200 Namibian dollars, meaning the sales account was entered less. It could be that sales of 800 Namibian dollars were entered as 600 Namibian dollars in the sales account. The trial balance will not agree because of this error. The credit side will be less than the debit side with 200 Namibian dollars. When correcting this error, we should now credit the sales account with 200 Namibian dollars. The suspense account will be debited, therefore replacing the other account which was recorded correctly, which could be either cash, bank or debtor. The last error that we are going to look at is the error of completing the double entry. In one way, this error occurs when a transaction is recorded on the same side of both accounts. Either both accounts are debited or both accounts are credited. For example, equipment of 900 Namibian dollars bought by cash. The transaction was recorded on both the debit side of the account. The double entry clearly states that one account should be debited and the other one should be credited. The trial balance will not agree because the debit side will be more than the credit side with 1,800 Namibian dollars. This error could be corrected by crediting the cash account. The amount should be doubled when removing the amount from the wrong side to the correct side. Cash should now be credited with 1,800, while the suspense account will be debited as it is replacing the equipment account which was entered correctly. In other words, this error occurs when different amounts are recorded in both accounts, meaning the debit amount is different from the credit amount. For example, advertising of 150 Namibian dollars by cash was correctly entered under advertising but recorded as 105 Namibian dollars under the cash account. Both entries have different amounts. Therefore, the trial balance will not agree because the credit side will be less with 45 Namibian dollars. This error will be corrected by crediting the cash account with 45 Namibian dollars. The suspense account will be debited in order to replace the advertising account. Let us recap our mind on what we have learned today. The definitions of the errors as well as the exemplary transaction of the three errors, and briefly showed how they are corrected. Before we end the lesson, let's look at the few questions based on the topic that we have learned today. A. Explain three errors that affect the trial balance. B. What is the purpose of the suspense account? Until next time, goodbye.